Hello everybody. You're here. You know why you're here. You're here because of this. You're here because of LumenIZE. Kayla's there. She wants some food. In this video, I am going to give you my honest opinion on the new brand LumenIZE from Arcadia and what I think of the product. I've had it now for 3 months and I'm going to give you a 100% honest review of the product. Straight off the bat, I love the branding. I genuinely do. I think it really sticks out. I think the box is very sleek. I think it's great that they have all this detail on the back. I generally really like that. Some thought's gone into it. You know, it is a nice box. I genuinely really do think it stands out. It's quite sleek. And some people aren't going to care. I do care. I think it looks kind of cool. Sup, Kermit? The new units are a little bit deeper, but most of us like these black enclosures. So it's nice and sleek. You know, it blends in really well into the enclosures. They're nice and sleek. I've had no issues as regarding to spraying due to the new IP65 connection on both units. So I've had no issue. One downside that I know people are going to say is the new connectors are not the same as the old connectors. So you have to bring the vivs out, get the new connectors in. It is a little bit of a faff. If you've just got 1 or 2 reptiles, and it's easy to get to, whereas these ones here, I can get behind them. Whereas these ones here, I can't. So I have to pull stuff out, and it is a faff. But it's worth it. And it is worth it because of what LumenIZE can do. Conventionally, most of us have reptiles just on and off. And what do I mean by that? There you go. They're off. And when they come back on in the morning, there you go. They're on. Which is mad. Whereas now with LumenIZE, Kermit gets a ramp up and a ramp down. So I can change his daylight hours. I can make them longer. I can make them shorter. I can make it brighter for longer. I can make it like a long drawn out sunrise if I really want. I have so much flexibility. Yes, fine with the halogen. I have to have a Wi-Fi plug so I can program that not to come on. That's fine because that can come on first thing in the morning. And then I have the halogen come on first thing in the morning. Then I have the LED to start ramping up. Then I have the UVB on. I only have the UV on for about 6 hours of the day. So the UV is only on through the midst of the day. And then the UV dims off and then the halogen dims off. And I've been playing around with it and seeing what works for him. And, you know, I had clips in the other video. I'll add some B-roll into this. But it's really cool to walk into your room and just see like the sunrise or the sunset and see the enclosure like looking ominously, like the light drifting away or drifting up. It generally makes me feel worse and like bad for all my other reptiles. And Kermit's behavior has changed. His circadian rhythm is getting a lot better. He tends to come out later in the morning rather than just like, he doesn't normally, when all the lights come on, he comes out. Whereas now he's not really coming out until the LEDs start to get a bit brighter. As they start to dim down, he takes himself off to bed. He's not caught out by the timing. Most of our reptiles take themselves off to bed. They learn this. Whereas with now LumenIZE, he's learning it more so. Also colours. I never really saw his true colour potential until now underneath LumenIZE. And I'm not just saying it. I'll add a B-roll video, but it is so mind-blowing how everyone here knows that I love LEDs. If you watch me, I'm really into my LEDs. The colours on this lizard under this lighting is like nothing I've ever seen. Another massive thing that I'm glad that they've done is they've changed the way that the T5s clip in. So it's no longer a twist system. It's a push and then plug in and clip. So no, I've had a few T5 units break where I've tried to twist the lamps and then the little pins at the end have broken off. I've had that happen many a times. I'm sure you've all had that happen. It's changed. Also, the Jungle Dawn is brighter. What? I know, and the UVB. But the Jungle Dawn is brighter. I have just the Jungle Dawn here. This is the new shiny fancy LumenIZE. And I've been raising this mystery lizard and some baby Gillan I on it. And then I have the same 2 of the mystery lizard just under a normal Jungle Dawn. And this one comes out more and basks more. Is it the lizard? Is it the lighting? Who knows? The Gillan I that are in here, they sit under the light here on this branch. They also have other branches they can sit on. Whereas the Gillan I I'm raising in here, there was a Jungle Dawn, but I'll be honest, it broke. An old style one. they have the same opportunities and they sit under the halogens more than they would the LEDs. Now, does that mean that they prefer the LumenIZE, or does that mean they just are utilizing different opportunities? I don't speak lizard, but these two enclosures, it's hard to pick up, but I have checked it under my lux meter, are brighter than those two enclosures. These two are incredibly clean and incredibly bright. The app enables you to set scenes. You can have up to 50 devices on the app. You can set scenes, you can pick motions, you can go through, and I've got Kermit's LED, Kermit's UVB, all on a completely different time schedule. You can set it up, you can play around with it. I have the babies over there just on a separate time schedule, and you can play around with them. So when it comes to winter time, I can set a schedule for Indonesian winter or Australian winter, and then everybody can go on the Indonesian winter or the Australian winter, depending what part of the world they're from, and I can just go, right, the clocks are starting to go back, ramp down, ramp down, ramp down, ramp down. For me personally, in my keeping, seasonality and seasoning animals, I attest to a lot of my success in breeding. Also as well, when setting scenes, remember to start it with 0% and end it with 0%, as you can see me doing on the screen here, because if you don't, the light is going to be running at a low capacity through the night, and obviously you don't want that. So remember, when you do your scenes, start it at 0, end it at 0. You don't have to have the 50% that I do. You can just have it, for example, come on at 8 a.m, ramp up to 100%. So 8 a.m, 0%, you go then to 12 p.m, so 12 a.m, whatever midday is. So from 8 till 12, it will ramp up 100%, and then 12 till 6, it's at 100%, and then 6 till 10, it ramps down to 0%. I'm pretty much changing my entire room over to LumenIZE. When I can afford to do so. As of this video, I don't know the price bracket. I'm gonna not sit here and again front if it's silly money, and when I say silly money, hundreds of pounds, I'm still gonna get it, but it's gonna be a lot slower. I genuinely believe it's worth the money. I've seen massive change in Kermit, but I can't tell you how much it is. I would love to, but I don't know. But I will be changing it, especially things like my toad heads, you know, and my Gillan I, where at the moment they're currently in a season. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 separate lamps in with my Gillan I, which are 5 separate lamps I need to control. I can now just change over to this, have 3 separate lamps. Sorry if you can hear Kada. She thinks she's getting fed. Bloody lizard. But yeah, my Gillan I, I'm in the process of wintering my Gillan I. So I'm changing the daylight hours. I'm mixing things up. With LumenIZE, 1, the light is brighter. 2, I'm saving money because it's not just on then off for 6 hours. It ramps up and then ramps down, and I'm saving energy. And then I could just go, do you know what? I don't want the UVB. I want the UVB to be on for an hour. I haven't got to have multiple timers and change multiple things. It's all just done in app, like in-house, done. And I've even been tempted, like, oh, get a little iPad and I can just keep it in the reptile room. And I'm like, all right, that's it. All the schedules and nerding out about it. It is good. And again, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Arcadia have not told me to say anything. I've spoken to Arcadia and they said, look, if you don't want to make a video, don't make a video. If you don't like it, then please tell us first, but say that you don't like it. They have been true to me by enabling me to be true to myself. I haven't had any hiccups with it. I had one instance where the LED wasn't quite on properly, and I went in the app, just clicked, what button was it? Save schedule, and it reset itself and it was completely fine. And even then, I don't think I had set it up. I had it set up properly in the first place. So I think that was a me error, not a product error. But other than that, I've had no issues. And again, to be completely honest, when it's like this, it's midday, both lamps are on at 100% capacity, you kind of forget yourself. But when you walk in and the lights all dim down and it's gloomy and it's starting to come, and you think, oh my God, like that is sick. I remember how excited I was when John spoke to me about this and he said, like, oh, this is the plan, this is what we're bringing out, this is what we're doing. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, this is gonna be incredible. Obviously I hadn't seen it, I hadn't had an idea, I didn't know what was going on, I just had the idea. I had the idea in my head what it was going to be, but it was just over a phone call, so I didn't quite physically know what it was going to be. And when I received it and set it all up and plugged and played around with it, generally the first thing I was like, oh, I need this for everybody. And we're 3 months in now, and I still want this for everybody. And it's been so hard not to tell people. I've had a few friends like buy newer UVB or Jungle Dawns, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't tell anybody. And I think out of the whole thing, that was the worst bit for me. I honestly believe it's going to change reptile keeping, and I'm not just saying that. If you think about it, like first thing in the morning, someone just shines a phone torch in your eyes or just draws the blood, you're like, oh my god, this is what our reptiles have. Whereas Kermit now, he just living his life. He is so attuned to his enclosure now, like his timings, his bedtime, his routine. He has days, and I can slowly ramp things down so he has less daylight hours. And I'm hoping that I remember to add some B-roll, which I am going to do. But seeing the enclosure like brighten up in the morning or dim down at night, it is really something to behold. You can't fathom it. I can't explain it. Because it sounds the most simple thing, because we have that as a species. Whereas our animals in boxes are just... This changes it. It changes the game. It really does. And it's so much brighter. It's a cleaner light. Like a lot cleaner of a light. So again, I will be changing over. I was planning on buying a new lizard, but I've decided not to, and I'm going to buy some more LumenIZE when it's officially out in a few days after making this video. It's even simple stuff like this, my gecko enclosure. I don't have them on as long as my other animals. I have to have a separate time and I could just have a LumenIZE UVB in here instead of just a normal UVB in here, and I could just have it to ramp up, ramp down, and give my geckos a decent season. Same as Mango, like. Again, she has the UVB here and the halogens and different LEDs and different lights. Oh, that's another thing. I should probably check this. But the UVB, the LED comes in like a 6 foot length, maybe? Like an 80 watt, like a massively bright LED. I've also seen Kermit like flaring his ribs out towards light. And when he was basking, which I've never really seen him do before. Even now, look at this. Like, seeing his blues, the camera obviously is not doing him justice. The colours, and this isn't even directly under the light. The colours on this lizard. Like, look, he is glowing. And I mean, people are going to look at it like, oh yeah, we get to save money and we get to save energy. But your lizards... or reptiles, your amphibians, your pets, they're going to start to be able to live how they would expect to live. You know, we're all on about this, oh, keep them wild, you know, keep them close to nature. And I said on my podcast before, like, oh, where do we draw the line? We'll keep them close to nature, but we're handling them. Keep them, you know, the on-off that we all take for granted of lights. And I know some people stagger them, but if you stagger for example, halogen comes on, great. Then the LED comes on, great. But the LED just comes on. So it's still an instant, like, you know? Whereas this, some of my enclosures are set up, but this one's set up to have different bulbs come on at different times. But when those LED bars come on, they just come on. And I can't avoid that. It's the dimming of the UVB as well, though. Like, dimming an LED, it's not... I'm an electrician. We dim LEDs at work all the goddamn time. Whereas now the UVB dims. And it works well. It's not flickery. It's not juddery. When you film it, it doesn't... Like Mango stupid cheapy LEDs. They're... Whereas this, clean. I'm going to do a completely separate video on utilizing the app. I'm going to make that just a dedicated short video, which I haven't done yet. As you can probably all tell from this video how spotty I am in my bags. Your boys had things going on, but I really wanted to get this video out, and I am filming this 3 days before the release. Anyway, my honest opinion is I love it. I genuinely love it. The wild recreation that obviously we all know that John goes on about. I need to feed Kader in a minute. I'll put the clip at the end of the video for the people that are still here. I've been getting to know him over the last 6 months, and the man is incredibly passionate about the wild recreation for our captive reptiles and amphibians and herptiles and pets and birds and whatever. This is, in my opinion, game-changing. This is great. Every time I walk into my room and the light is dimmed, it blows my brain. And the changes I have seen in Kermit are worth it. They are worth buying it for me to warrant buying it. He's already starting to look to go to bed, and the lights are going off in a few hours. He understands time a lot better now than he ever has. His colours, cleaner. His activity levels during midday full lighting is more than it's ever been. It really excites me to get all my animals switched over to this. And again, I don't know the price. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I am going to invest in a couple straight away. I already have the LED over there. I'm going to buy a UVB. I have the LED and the UVB in here. And then I have an LED over there. And I'm going to buy... First thing I'm going to buy is a UVB for that. So I'm instantly straight away. Everything here has UVB and LEDs. You know that with me. But I will be changing. Every new bulb from here on out will be LumenIZE. And for enclosures that I can afford to do so, I'll be changing. I will be doing separate small videos on just the little bits and nuance that I found with using it. But for the most part, you will not regret it. Honestly, please trust me. I'm not paid to say this at all. I genuinely believe in Arcadia as a brand. Every single light in this room is Arcadia as regards to like my UVB. 80% of my LEDs are Arcadia. All of them bar the free LumenIZE I brought with my own money. I've never been given stuff like people like, oh, okay. Come on now. You know me. I'm truthful. I'm honest. I genuinely believe in this. I think it is going to revolutionize the reptile keeping industry. I know a lot of fish people have been like, oh, it's about time. Doesn't matter how long it took. We're here now. And we have it. LumenIZE, the brand new brand from Arcadia. Get on board. I've just been thinking, did I say that it saves you 30% energy? It saves you 30% energy! It was worth sticking around to the end of the video if you ask me. I'm just going to let it run. Patreon, you're that way. Hey, Kada. You going back in then? That's the video done. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe back.